Namaste, dear Sangha. I wanted to bring you some astrological insights in preparation for the equinox tomorrow and just share a little bit about the celestial bodies and what they're really holding space for us at this time, where the opportunities are, and some of the things to look out for. So it feels like at this time, so equinox, let's just start here. It's really a time of the harvest. It's a time of recognizing our abundance and appreciating all that we have and recognizing that that contributes to our natural expansion. We go through these natural phases of expansion and contraction, and we're really here honoring expansion, everything that we have, and knowing that we're naturally moving also into more darkness, into the contraction of the seasons before we come back out and shine again. But actually at this time, it feels like there are three major themes with the astrology. One is that it feels like actually we have an opportunity to keep creating, to keep enjoying the opportunities of expression and arts and creativity and sharing our magic. And that before we really start to go inwards into the dark month, that we still have this portal, this time to really be in that energy. And to not forget the transformative power of creativity and exercising our creative abilities and our expression and practicing of magic. So the other theme that I'm kind of feeling coming through at the moment is that there feels also with the current astrology that we are being, the celestial bodies are really supporting us to naturally access self-energy at the time. That there's a lot there that is supporting us to be able to access that natural connection to our self-energy. And that this is the time to get going with things that we love doing, with the activities that naturally bring us into this place of self-energy, that give us this access to self-energy naturally, to almost like practice, like practice accessing self-energy and being in our self-soul energy and doing those things that just bring in that abundance of love and joy, so that we're filling up our being, we're charging up our system, and that access to ourselves is just strengthened and heightened. And that's really seeing us into the next season as we go into the darker months. And the third theme that I'm seeing is that there seems to be a general protective quality of the astrology at this time. Now, I would say generally that the planets in our solar system have that general, if we zoom out, they're really working for us and really supporting us. But there's a particular protective quality at this time. And that if we really cultivate our own internal systems, our emotional systems, and our energy systems, that we are naturally protected by whatever that this time is going to bring. Okay, so this also seems to be a theme within the astrology. Now, I've got some notes here, which I'm referring to. So first of all, I'm going to take us through where the sun and the moon is at. Well, that's really all I'm going to be doing today. And I think that's really important because, so the sun, the equinox is very much reliant on the sun and the moon is our closest celestial body. So the moon acts like a filter, and it really beams in and finely tunes the energies and beams that into us, lasers that, reflects that over to us. So the sun and the moon are particularly important. So right now, the sun, which is our self-energy, it's our self-leadership, and it's also like the father principle, it's the protection, it's the container. So the sun is with Virgo, and Virgo is ruled by Mercury, and actually Mercury is here too at this time. So the strength of Virgo is really very high. We need to really pay attention to this Virgo energy because it's really coming in. So Virgo is the sensitive feminine aspect of the Kundalini Shakti. It's Mother Earth. Very fine perception comes in here with Virgo. So we're able to like really finely perceive and tune into the energies. And there's this deep thinking ability, this sort of deep contemplating, deep reflective ability with Virgo. So this is such a beautiful time for us coming out of summer to really contemplate our abundance and really honor that and appreciate that. And as we move into the coming time. So, we have an ability here to just carve out a new space within ourselves that we can share with our loved ones, we can share with our community, and really honoring that we are in a new time, and we really can contemplate this, and we really can draw in this very nurturing feminine energy to bring us into this place of contemplation and reflection for the abundance that we have at this time, the abundance that all of this experience has brought us to really come into our heart and our self-leadership and really honor that we are at the dawn of a new age, but not from a place of fear and worry about how we're going to survive winter, but from this place of like expansive abundance and knowing that it really is down to us and our self energy. It's down to how we project ourselves in the world. And also with this, so like writing and expressing and creative arts and any ways that we can express this creatively is going to be very, very well received at this time. But so all of this is very generalized, okay? And I wanted to put this as a disclaimer at the beginning, but I forgot. But all of this is very generalized. And if the astrology at any particular time is going to impact you depending on your own birth chart and depending on how you're reacting with those energies just generally, okay? So for example, I'm talking about the sun and I'm talking about Mercury and I'm talking about Virgo. If any of those are destabilized on your chart or it's a tricky energy for you for whatever reason, then it's like you want to work a little bit more closely with that energy to stabilize it. So for example, if your sun is destabilized or not in a great position at the time when you were born, then it's just something to tune into the impact that is going to be having on your self energy at this time. So the sun being a very important anchor point for the equinox and being all about self leadership and being in this place in Virgo, which, is really asking us to drop into our feminine ability. Now, if we haven't stabilized that feminine aspect of our self leadership, which is what the sun is, and if we've allowed ourselves to be pulled more into the masculine aspects of the sun, because the sun very much does represent the father principle, but we can be too overbalanced with that. So if the feminine is really destabilized within us anyway, and we know that, then this invitation to bring the feminine in might actually be quite challenging for our system. It might not actually be very easy. It might be like, oh, it's like something is trying to come up and be reflective. But so it really all depends on kind of where you're sitting with all of this. So if the sun is destabilized for you, then your parts, might need some support and might need some help. It might be that you've been finding it difficult to locate yourself within all of this. And there may be like a constant like searching of who I am at this time. And if that is you, then this time is going to be particularly challenging for you. So it's really important to stabilize into that self and sense of self and that knowing that you are both the masculine and the feminine. It's just that these energies help to draw us sometimes into one or the other. It's all about balance. And the sun is also aligned to Uttra Purva Phalungi, which is one of the 27 nakshatras that kind of sits behind the zodiacs and gives us another finer dimension of perception. And so this is ruled by Venus, it's interesting because the moon is with Venus in Leo, which I'm going to talk about in a minute, but so the Venus energy, this like shine bright and be creative and expressive, that's what I was saying. It's like a theme of this time now, is our expression is so important. Our creative expression and our compassionate creative expression is really important for us to get the message out in this really compassionate way, in a way that people can receive it, rather than like sometimes that sun energy is like, I'm going to stand on my soapbox and I'm just going to just keep going until everyone listens. And this Venus energy is bringing, it's just like sort of like allow people to be naturally magnetized by your charisma, by your just, naturally grounded sense of self, balanced sense of self. And so again, so this nakshatra is like the fruit of the tree, and the symbol is the Shiva lingam. So there's this real capacity for creation, and artistic expression, for love, for dance, for drama, for poetry, to really bring us, help us to express the fruits of our labor and the abundance that we have, and share that with others. So moving on to the moon is with Venus in Leo, and again, just really strong, bright, magnetic energy that's leading us into this coming time. So of course, also we look at the equinox and we kind of go, okay, this is a gateway and it's leading us into this time. So the astrology that's here, that's present, is kind of helping us to enter this time, and we can really be backed by that energy and be like, let's really let's really back ourselves with this energy, and like really move into this coming time with that, with that abundance and that backing of that energy. So this beautiful, bright Venus energy, it's like, let's just go with that light. As the sun starts to decrease, let's really bring this light into this season. And again, this has there's a very protective quality here, because so because of the nakshatra that Venus is aligned to, so Maghan, again, the nakshatras, are another, give us the 27 constellations that give us a finer level of perception. And there's a very, very protective quality here, in particular protection in times of crisis. And, I would kind of say that, there is an aspect of life here on planet Earth that is very much in crisis. And so this constellation is drawing in this protective quality. And it's kind of like I'm feeling with also the other aspects of protection that I've been talking about in this astrology. It's like, if you really know how to shield yourself, you really know how to work with energy, you're working with your inner system, your emotional system, your energetic system. And you're like, I'm not saying there's anything you need to do, or there's anything you have to do, or there's any strict like ritual or ceremony or discipline that you have to follow. But like, if you just know how to work with your energy because you've been cultivating that, and it might be that for you it's really useful to be disciplined every day within how you work with your energy. But if you know how to do that, you're going to be naturally protected at this time, and it's like nothing can penetrate this shining armor, if you know how to shield yourself. So again, Venus is shining this expressive, high creative and expressive energy and magnetism with the backing of Leo. So the moon and Venus are in Leo. And again, Leo is just like this, this is incredible. There's a relationship also between Leo and sun, and the sun, the sun right now, we're looking at where the sun is. It's really important to recognize that the sun is our central star. It is our life giver. It is sending through the most incredible codes for us that we're drawing in, and we're utilizing, we're alchemizing that energy all the time. Like literally the cells of our body absorb the sun's rays and then use that as energy. So we need to pay particular attention to the sun. And we often look at, okay, well, where is the sun? Where is Leo? What's happening with those energies? And so there's this beautiful interaction coming through here. What else do I want to say? So again, the moon, it's the nurturing feminine. So again, this is coming in here. If this is really challenging for you, if either the feminine principle or the masculine principle is really challenging for you, it's at these gateways where they come up. It's at these gateways where we really honor the sun and the moon, and we really draw in their energies. And it's where this can come up really strongly. And recently, I mean, the conversations just in the last week around the mother wounding has been very, very strong, particularly around the mother wounding. And a lot of sisters and brothers that I know are going through deep purging of burdens held in the system in relation to wounding in the relationship with the mother. And again, it's just kind of characteristic of this time. And it's like, if this balance is in progress, that it may be that you feel at these gateways, it brings up these tendencies or these lower vibrations or these burdens that might be sitting within you. So again, this nurturing feminine energy is really coming through at this time and is the source of our stability, really. So what is it that's preventing us from journeying into that and really honoring and accepting the nurturing, healing ability of the feminine, the reflective qualities of the feminine at this time, to really help us to really invite this time in and to really listen deeply as to the wisdom that is there to be drawn from the cosmic intelligence, from our bodies, from our experiences also. Yeah. And another thing here with this nakshatra of Maghan, that's aligned with the moon, is like another potential kind of pitfall or shadow side, is that if we are really in a place where our parts are getting into this kind of material, I don't want to say obsession, but the material world, and we're allowing our parts to kind of almost like run away with this, and not kind of addressing the imbalance that we might have between this kind of over consumption of the material world, then this might also show up with this particular alignment with the moon and Maghan, might really bring that all up into view, because it's one of its motivations of this nakshatra is like abundance, is wealth, but the aligned, the balanced understanding and experience of wealth in all of its forms and abundance in all of its forms. And I'm just going to leave on this note, because this is what this gateway, this is what this equinox is. It's a celebration of the harvest of our wealth, of our abundance in all its forms, celebrating everybody that tended to the crops, celebrating all of the seeds from before, celebrating everybody that cleans up. It's like every single aspect and part of our abundance is equally as important as each other. And so let's bring ourselves back into the alignment of the appreciation of that abundance in all its forms and all of the aspects of cultivating that abundance. Oh, I hope you found this useful. It went on a lot longer than I wanted it to, but I guess there's a lot to share at this time, and I hope that it offers you some light and some hope and some faith. And, we can really get in our heads like, oh, winter's approaching, it's getting darker, it's getting grayer, and we can get really caught up with this like seasonal sort of deficiency and the sun going down, and really get ourselves into a thing about it because we have this pre-programmed condition about like what it's going to be like. But actually what I'm being shown here is that we have to really come back to like, okay, yes, the light may be decreasing, but we have this incredible abundance of celestial love and support right now that is seeing us through all of this. You are not alone. Sending you so much love, dear ones.